Okay, welcome to my basement slash makeshift shop. Sorry about the mess. I still have some debris and some things to clean up from Project Red, which was my 1985 R80 RT to S conversion. So there's a few bits that need to be tidied. Anyway, what I've got here is a 1991 R100 RT. Originally I bought this because my 85 R80 it was a high mileage bike. It's 263,000 miles. And it was my first BMW. I wasn't familiar with the part scene, and I was a little bit concerned about spare parts. And I know that a lot of these parts are completely interchangeable between different bikes. And so I was looking really for a parts bike, and found this on one of the BMW forums. Guy in Connecticut had it in his basement for the past 15, 20 years, and hadn't really ridden it. So it only had about 14,000 miles on it when I got it. It's got just over 15,000 now. I've ridden it a little bit since I got it. That long in his basement. His basement was, he had kept it in his basement, and it was perfectly climate controlled. The original Metzler tires that were on it, they still felt brand new. They still looked brand new. They did have a 20-year-old date code on it, so I didn't want to ride them. But if I'd ever seen a 20-year-old tire I would feel comfortable riding on, it was those. So anyway, I replaced the tires. Went through, replaced all of the rubber that I could replace. Went through and replaced the entire flush brake system, new oil, and did a carb rebuild, a quick carb rebuild. Didn't go in and hyper clean it because I knew I was going to be tearing the whole thing apart. Anyway, because it was in too good a condition to be a parts bike, so I decided that this would just become a second project, and well, here we are. So the story of this guy, previous owner was the original owner. It's always been a New England bike, so now it's here in the Midwest. Around 12,000 miles, he struck a deer, and that did a good amount of damage to it. The insurance company totaled it. He bought the bike back from the insurance company and had it put back together, which kind of explains why there are three different color schemes on this bike. You've got, I think this is it's an Alaska Yukon blue here. You got the Azure blue here, and I'm not sure what gray color code this is, but the three different bikes on here on this already. Even so, it rides fine. I don't notice any issues with, that make me think the frame is out or that the forks are bent or anything like that. I replaced the springs in the fork. I replaced the rear shock because the previous owner was not as tall, had a custom shock on it, so I needed something a little bit taller. Put in a cat dash for better sight, and some LED lights just so that I could see better at night. Went back to a OEM style seat for the monolevers, which I find to be far more comfortable than the Russells and the Corbins that people thought were popular when these bikes were new. So was originally going to be a parts bike. Now it's a project bike. So project-wise, what am I going to do with it? I think I want to keep it as an RT. I'm not going to convert it to an S or do anything radical to it, but I do want it to be modernized and reliable and be a bike that I can use for its original purpose. I want to be able to ride this all over the country, and so this project is going to be about making sure this bike is ready for that kind of thing. I would like to see, dozens of thousands of miles on this, but it's going to need a little bit to get there, and while I'm at it, I may as well do some updates and some improvements. Going to definitely be going all the way at least to the rear main seal, mainly because there's occasionally there's a little bit of a drip of oil that I think is coming. Well, I think it's coming from just the bad seal, but that's not terrible. But while I'm at it, while I want to get to the seal, I may as well look in the gearbox, do the standard upgrades to the gearbox, replace the shifter, roller bearing, replace the fifth gear, so I have a taller fifth gear, be a little bit more highway friendly. And while I'm going that far, verdict is out on whether or not I'll go with a 1080cc power kit from Siebenrock. If that was the same as the 1000cc kit from Siebenrock for the R80, I would absolutely do it. I love the difference that made in the bike. But on the 1080, you'd need to convert over to dual plugs, and or they really recommend that you convert to dual plugs. I'm not sure I want to do that, so verdict is out. Haven't decided on paint yet. I'm not going to leave it in 3 colors. I guess I have 3 that I could pick from. I could go with the original. I do kind of like this this blue on the back with the red and the white. That's pretty sharp. But I may also do something a little bit more creative. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Yeah, hard to find a painter that does outstanding work on, or wants to do a lot of work on an RT, rather. Around me, everybody wants to paint Harleys, and they won't even touch a BMW. So I could go to Zach down at Black Wolf again. He did a great job on my R80. So I may do that. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I think that's about it. So I'm going to try to do regular updates as I'm doing work on this, rather than waiting until the very end like I did with the R80. And yeah, let me know what you think. If you have any questions or suggestions, I'm glad to hear it. Well, what the hell? While we're here, let's go ahead and drain the oil. Since I just brought it in, it's still a little bit warm. Let's see what we got going on here. All right, nice and warm. Looks like that crush washer did not really get crushed at all. Yeah, this crush washer was underdone. It was very loosely done. This looks fine. But I am looking, and I'm not seeing anything worrying in the oil itself. Oil looks good. I mean, it should. It had been changed right before I picked it up, so that makes sense. But yeah. That crush washer was on light duty. I don't see anything. Is that really? Yeah, it's malleable. It's an actual crush washer. Well, that might explain the occasional oil smell. Let's see what else we get when we tear into stuff. Okay, can I get to, let's see, wonder if I could get to that guy. Okay. Let's open the gearbox while we're here. Yep, that is clean. That's basically new. I do have a little bit of filings on the magnet. But that's new oil. For sure. Okay. So the gearbox inlet over here has been gronked on pretty tight. So I gotta get something a little bit. There we go. I had to get a little more leverage for this guy. Oh, of course that's gonna happen. Yeah. Yeah, that crush washer's been used pretty well. Let's look at the crush washer on the transmission drain. And yeah, this was under tight. Not as bad as the oil, but it was definitely under tightened. Wonder what we'll see when we open the final drive. All right, we're gonna get into the final drive and into the swing arm here. Let's see, are we gonna get lucky? That will work. For the swing arm, let's do that first. Let's be a little smarter. We're gonna start by loosening the vent. Or sorry, the fill spout for the swing arm. And nothing there, just some oxidation. This feels a little tight for what it is. Okay. Another under-tightened crush washer. But I'm gonna have to look at the threads on that because that did not feel good. It was a little snug all the way out. Okay. I don't see anything worrying right away. Let's take off the vent for the final drive. I think I keep saying final drive and I meant swing arm for the previous. Okay, vent is good. A little bit of pressure on that, but not enough. I would have gone just a touch tighter. Okay, that's good. Now, I do see this final drive having quite a lot of gunk, but also around the swing arm fill tube. This is pretty grimy, a little more than I think road grime. And wow. So the swing arm had, I'd say about 80 mil in it. I will have to check the specs on that, but I'm pretty sure that's low. All right, let's see. Yeah, this is coming out nicely like it should. What are we going to find in here? A gunky, under tight. Again, under tight. I think all of these I would classify as slightly better than hand tight, but you know, I'm looking at oh, that's kind of gummy, more like an assembly lube, but it's not, does not appear to be metal shavings. Yeah, hang on. Yeah, I think I'm getting some assembly lube in this. Maybe that's normal. I don't know. I've never taken one of these apart that's this low miles. So, yeah. Hey, if you know, you know. Let me know. All right, so fluids are mostly drained. I'll deal with the oil filter and oil cooler later. Yeah, I don't want to fight with this right now. That'll be a task that I do after I take off the fairing. Okay, Climbers is your friend. Yes, that swing arm had about 75 milliliters of oil, and it should have had more. Should have had 100. So that was low. When I get into that, we'll take a good look and make sure that we're doing okay. But even so, I didn't see anything scary coming out of this. I'll have to look a little bit more when I go through and edit the video, see if I notice anything then. But I think we're good. We're just going to let this drip for a while, and we're going to call it a day. Thanks a lot.